Okay, welcome everybody to Coffee and Art in the Morning, Friday, impromptu. If you're watching this recording on YouTube, it is a live show with mostly awake people. Jean's not here, so I guess not everybody's awake. Okay, Pat, good. So Suzanne sent me two more of the Bennett Klein books. So I'm going to do a little flip through Epic and Unearthed. And if you want to get Unearthed, it will be discontinued. It will be retired. This book's going to be retired in a week or two. I'm not even sure how long. It might already be retired. I'm not sure. But this is some of his older unearthed art. And so that this one will be discontinued. Hey, Jen. So I'm going to do a little flip. Before I do, I got to say, I already tore a page out of here and working on it. I'm working on this page right here, which I'm calling the Art Ninja, and I'm going to make it like an ode to his daughter, May, who has, she has her own book. I think she already has it out, yeah, and helps him and does things with Bennett Klein. So I'm going to make this like an ode to May Klein, and I'm still in process of working on it. I have the painted background. I haven't finished that, and then I turned all her arrows into paintbrushes, and I'm going to turn her bow into palettes. And then she's got these like little tubey things going on here. So those are going to be like paint. So it's like tubes of paint running through there and then to the paint brushes. And so I'm in process here. And like I said, I want to paint these in to make them look like a palette, a bow palette. So yeah, so I'm working on this, but I started this last night. So there's a page out of Epic that I've already taken out. So I'm going to do a quick flip here. Hopefully it's not too flashed out, and hopefully you can see. I'm just going to go ahead and flip kind of quickly through. Am I too zoomed in? I might be too zoomed in. I might need to back out one because it's a little, there we go. That's better, I think. So you can see the whole page. So it's going to do a quick flip through. This one's Epic. So much fun stuff to color. And y'all know Bennett Klein's books, you can buy them either on Amazon and it's on the thin paper, or you can buy the PDF and download it onto whatever paper you want. I don't mind coloring on thin paper for the most part. I really love this one too. Well, I like a lot of them, but so hopefully y'all get a little look at this one with her hair. Her hair intertwines with the mane of the horse. That is the kind of stuff. I love that kind of thing, And same for the tail. I know. Hi, Kangor. Anybody else popping in? Marsha? Marsha. I'm sure you get that all the time. This one's really cool. It's like a volcano explosion. That's how I see it anyway. I've seen people color this one. I've seen this one done a few times. And that's that one. That's Epic. And then Unearthed, which is some of his older art. And again, this one is going to be discontinued or retired, I guess want to say. And their names are, I'm not going to read the names, but the names of the pages are in here. I'm just going to do the flip here. and then we'll pick a page. I haven't picked a page to work on today. I'm not working on the Art Ninja because I had already started that last night after I got the books. And thanks again, Suzanne. Suze sent these to me. So I couldn't wait to color. There's just so many awesome ones, you know? I'm not sure which one we'll do. And it's just a variety because, like, you know, it's some of his unearthed art. And this one was like taken right out of his sketchbook. If y'all do not belong to the Bennett Klein Facebook group, it's an awesome group. Everybody is so encouraging, so nice, and so it's just an awesome group. If you don't belong to, you know, a particular Facebook group and you like Bennett Klein, I can highly recommend his Facebook group if you like to color his stuff. So that's Epic and Unearthed. And again, this is the one, I've already cut it out. And what I do with the pages that are 8.5 by 11 or you know, can fit in my binder, I cut them out and I mount them on a piece of black cardstock and I write on there what book they're out of. And then that way they can fit in my binder. And I was saying before I hit record that I like to make pages something about them my own. So in this case, I'm turning her into an art ninja, and I took all the arrows, there were different size arrows, and I turned them into pen nibs and paint brushes. And then I'm going to turn the bow into two palettes. So and then again the little tubing things, and I've only, you know, it's not done, it's just, you know, kind of started, but I got a couple hours worth of work into this. Hey, musical Tati. And so I was going to show you some of the other Bennett Kleins that I've made my own, and they're in a binder again. This one now, oh dear, and they're in plastic, so there might be a bit of a glare. This one, there's 10 parts to in video. So if you look at my color book playlist and look for, like, I think it's called Oh Dear. It's been at least a year ago, maybe longer. But I did 10 parts on this page, like step by step, little by little. But what I like to do is add my own touches. So in this case, I did the stars all around, painted it black and added my own stars. But this one has got very in-depth detail into the fur and the eyes, the birds, all of it. It's very in-depth in the recordings. And so again, this one had no sky and no clouds. That's all paint. And then there's glitter and stuff in there too. Added my own, you know, shooting stars and all. I'm holding it up so that it kind of takes the glare off. I'm just going to show you my Bennett Klein ones here. And then, like this one right here, these were like happy faces, you know, your smiley faces. And we did this one around Halloween. And so I turned the little happy faces into little pumpkins. So don't be afraid to paint things out and change things. I always say, you know, Bennett Klein or, you know, the artists are not going to email you and say, oh, you changed that. Change it and make it your own. All the mist coming across her face, that's all paint. This is acrylic paint in the background. And then let's see if I can get it. I know it's not going to want to focus too much closer than right there. But I did that. Then on this one again, all the water, the rain, the mist, all that's paint. And there's glitter on her little fairy wings. There, you can see it a little bit there. I didn't want to take them all out of the pack, you know, out of the sleeves. But on the back of each book, I mean, on the back of each page is what book it's out of. Oh, God. Okay, bye, Elizabeth. Have a good work day. Thanks, Arctic Elizabeth. Thanks, Lindsay. And so I wanted you to see that you can make the pages your own. You don't have to just, you know, leave it what it is. This one, it's got paint, and then I did all this little smoky bits with color pencil on top of acrylic paint. And that reason that works is because this is acrylic paint on the background. And there's glitter in the wings. Let's see here. Glitter, there you go. And in the butterflies. And then all this is pencil on top of acrylic paint. Tilted. There we go. There's the color right there. Then the next one is the bear in the fog and the mist, all painted in. All this is painted my own moon in there. And then here's my vampire girl. This one did take quite a long time too. I really like the way her eyes turned out, but this was very time consuming, as you can imagine. But you have to like just, and you don't have to finish it. I mean, I try to finish when I start a page like this. You know, I think this one has like 4 parts maybe. I'm trying not to do that many parts anymore because then I don't get to other color books. So I at least try to record enough of the technique so that you see how it's done, and then I always try to post finished pictures. So anyway, yeah, this took quite a while because you can see all the detail. Then this one, there's not a video for this. I did this one late one night. And again, the background's painted black. I added all my own stars and planets and all the smoky bits. See the smoke coming out of the dragon's nostrils there. And I kept this one to like a burnt orange, lime green, and a darker shade of green, and white and blue. So this is very minimal colors. And all the white and the feathers are all shaded with blue, and then I added my own glow and like little feather edges. Thanks, guys. And then I put freckles on her. And then again, this is all added in. So, you know, add your own touches. Make it your own. Then this one I printed out on craft paper and only used black and white. So all the shading and everything here is all black and white, with the craft color paper being the mid-tone there. And then some of the white here is Posca, the Posca pen, the detail-y bits here. And then all this is just shaded with white. So it's just all black and white on top of craft color. And again, smoky bits. I don't know what society list method. I'm sorry, Pacola, I don't know what that is. Don't know what you're talking about. Maybe you can explain. And then this one is again a limited palette of just teals, 2 teals and 2 purples, I think, and black and white. I did kind of just do a little sketchy line around the edge, but I think I might want to go in here and do more on the edge sometime. I don't, you know, I think it needs more along the border, but he's kind of cute. Little chipmunk, all in purples and teals. Then This one is the panda, and I'm not telling y'all what books are. I have to look at the backs to tell you what books, because I have all of them pretty much except like Maze, and I think I have most of them. Half of them Suzanne sent to me. Good example. Oh, the list, society list. Oh, okay. I'm sorry, Picola. I was in color book mode, and I did not have any clue what you were talking about. Sorry. I was not. My mind was not in list mode. It was in color book mode. I'm so sorry. Well, these things are pretty much already on the color book. I mean, on the color book pages. I would just add my own backgrounds and water and mist and, like I said, on this one I'm adding my own paint brushes. Okay, sorry, Picola. Totally got me there. Okay, so on this one, again, a limited palette of pinks, white, black, and green. And then I purposefully harshly outlined the hibiscus to make them really pop with the white Posca pen, and left it very stark to really just make it stand out. So there's this one. And again, all black, white, pink, and greens. Yeah, yeah, because I don't use our list methods for the Society Idea Collectors. I'm not using the lists on any of this, so I was totally confused, Bacola. And this one I call Hedgies and Holbees, because I use the Holbein pencils to color the Hedgies with a little bit of paint in there, paint and or Posca. Uh, so did the little Hedgies with Holbees. And again, it's a limited palette. Then this one, this is the last one in my book here of Bennett Klein. Then it goes into other pages. But I just wanted to show you how you can, take things and make them your own. So this one, I wanted the metal. I wanted to keep that metal like in there and not make it look like real lions and goats and things. I wanted it to keep that metal look. So there's very little coloring in here. I think there's some Winka Stella, some little bit of shine on it. But there's no color in that. There's no color in the diamond. A little bit of color. I think it kept her hair gray, and then colored. Wanted everything to look like metal, with just the blue and the roses and the chandeliers there. And then, of course, her lipstick's the same color as the roses. Her eyes are the same teals and blues that are in the chandelier and in this bit here. Hello, Grace. So yeah, so I just wanted to show you that you can use, and again, here's all my other pages, and I'm not going to go through those now because I do have a flip through of most of this. So I keep anything that's 8.5 by 11 that'll fit in a page protector. I'll cut the page out, and I might even trim it down a little to make it have a black border. And then I'll write the name of the book I got it out of, and then put this in my binder. If it's too big for the binder, then I have my ledger book that I keep the larger pages in. Now, all that being said, I don't tear out pages out of any books that have like a fairy tale to them or a theme to them, or it's a specific book like Game of Thrones or something like that. I don't tear those out of the books. So I need to flag those. Right, Erin? So anyway, this is the one I was working on last night. I'm not done with the background. I just have a base coat of some green. There were some trees already in the background, and then I just painted it all to look like a forest. I'm going to, enhance the background, probably make it darker right around her. And then maybe can put a glow. I don't know. But anyway, this is my Art Ninja. And I'm going to dedicate this one to May Klein, Bennett's daughter, who has a book and does her own. She's an artist in her own right. So again, I painted out all the arrows to make them paintbrushes, and I'm going to turn her bow into palettes. So I'm not going to work on this one today because it's, I'm well into the process of this one. So I'm going to pick another page maybe out of Unearthed, because this one's going to be retired. Maybe we should pick something out of here. So if anybody wants to buy this one before it's retired, they need to grab it. That one's kind of cool. So yeah, I haven't picked a page. I just want to, I love this. Look at the drips. Look at the drips. I love that. Look, that's just something I would just like, do on my own page. I love that. So it's like a flower coming out. That could be coral, water. This could be underwater. That would be very cool to do, drips and water, like flowy bits coming off of here. So maybe that one would be good. It may not take too long to do. And I'm not sure, but this could almost be, it's supposed to be the middle of the flower, but I could almost see like a dragon tail in there. It almost could look like scales on there. This could almost be a mermaid tail. A mermaid tail. If that's all done in greens and blues and coral. Okay, I think we're going to go with this one. So as y'all know, I tear these out, so don't anybody freak out. If you really want to do it neat, I should probably do it neatly, is cut it out with a knife. And I'll put it on let me scroll over here and grab a piece of black cardstock. So let's go ahead and do this one. And let me see what the name of it is. Let me see if I can just cut this out without cutting out more than a couple pages at a time, because I'm sure I'm cutting through more than one. Okay. There we go. And this one, let's see, do these have names? Let's see. Okay, let's see which one this is called then. I gotta count because pages aren't numbered, so hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So this is called Lotus Fighting Fish. Oh, so it's like a betta fish. I was going with a mermaid. See, I haven't read this yet. I hadn't read this. So, again, I'm going to trim this down just a little. But I want to write on the back. Bennett Klein. Unearthed. And this one is called the Lotus Fighting Fish. However, we're going to probably turn it into, because those fighting fish, the betta fish are like red. Well, I can't say all of them, but they're like red and blue. But I want to make her a mermaid. So let me get my paper cutter out here. And I'm going to trim this down. I'm just going to trim off like a 1/4 inch or so. Just a little bit off of either side. A little off the top. Doesn't need too much because I'm mounting it on black paper. So, and then what I do is I just double side tape it. I just double side tape it to the cardstock. Now, I want to see, this has got the black paper. I think I want to test and see, let me sharpen my white, how well the white will go over this black. Because if it doesn't go over it well enough, then I want to paint the background black. But I think it's going to work. Okay. This is the background here with the black coating on it. And it does have a slight, it's not extra shiny. It's not shiny. So I should be able to go over that with the white pencil detail. If you have any questions, put them in caps. So I'm going to move the black paper for now and just get a white, put a piece of white paper behind it, help to see it, and also because my desk is crunchy, it's got glue bits and paint bits, tape, and if you have a thin color book page and you try to color, you're going to pick up the texture like a rubbing. You'll pick up the texture, so you want to make sure that you have something behind it to make sure that it's not going to pick up stuff. All right, so I'm not going to do a beta fish. I'm going to do her as a mermaid out of coral and water drips and maybe some blue on the side here, a yellow lotus. I'm not sure, and I'm not sure. I think I might just use Neo colors. Let's pull the Neo colors over. Move the color book here. Let's move this. I want to keep the book handy though, so I can show the book we're working in. And I'll have my Neo colors sitting right here. Maybe like something like this. Let's move that there. Like this. How's that look? Does that look good? Oh, you need the cougar? Oh, is Terry here? I don't know what y'all are talking about, but someone said they needed the cougar, so hey, Packer Die. All right, so let me get my water brush. Now remember, if you're this is like copy paper thin, and it will buckle a little bit, but I'm also not painting the background, so I've got to be more. If it starts to buckle too much, I can paint the background black acrylic, and that'll help give it some strength. But I'm going to just be careful and dry in between layers. I'm just going to put a wash, and then I'll go back with pencil and shade. So this is just going to be the base. Hey, Beady Eye Beth. Good to see you. So yeah, we're. I think I'll go ahead and zoom in one more here since we're. I think that looks pretty good as far as it's not too flashed out, and it's, you know, I think we're good. Okay. Yeah, the Unearthed, if you're talking about Unearthed, yeah, this is going to be discontinued, retired. It's going to be retired, so if you want to get Unearthed by Bennett Klein, you got to kind of get it, you know, quick. And also, you can get it, as far as I know, you can get it also in PDF, so you can print it out on heavier paper. All right, so let's see. I'm going to go with her being a mermaid instead of a betta fish. So I'm going to start with just like a nice, you know, green here. And I could water down some paint, some acrylic paint. I could water that down and make a wash of acrylic paint. You don't have to have Neo color. And it might even be a little easier if you water down acrylic paints, because then you're less likely to have it too watery, maybe. I don't know. I guess it just comes with a little bit of practice. So I'm just going to put the areas that I see that are going to be green. This just gives me a base. Whoops, that's a flower. This will just give me a base to then go in and shade on top of. Can y'all see? Maybe I need to zoom in even more, because I know it's hard to see. Is that a little better, I think? Now, and another thing I know that I'm doing this over the here, if you take your water brush and you're using your and these are Caran d'Ache Neo Color 2. Do not get Neo Color 1 if you want to do water. Neo Color 2 water soluble crayons. See how I'm doing this like this? That can splatter. So you really don't want to do that, like right over your page. Kind of, you can rub it, but if you go like flick, 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 you're going to flick off pigment all over the place. I've done it before, so I know. I'm not squeezing out any water out of my brush. I'm just using the wet tip of the brush. And if you want a more concentrated pigment, then take and scrape this off. You can even use the lid. Like here, let me show you. You can take, let me take this. You can use the lid and just scrape it out. I mean, you'll scruff some off like that and then pick it up with your brush and it'll be more concentrated. Okay, so you can do either one, whatever's easiest for you. But you can just scrape it out on your porcelain lid, tin lid, or whatever it is, and do it that way too if you want more pigment. You've never had a grayscale book? They're fun. You know, they can be a little tricky, but you gotta practice and play. And I'm having to keep going back more and more. Let's move that over, because I'm not squeezing out water. So because it's kind of dry, I have to keep going back more often because I'm not squeezing out any water. Okay, and if you want to add another layer after this, dry it or let it dry. By the time you come back to it, it probably would be dry, but make sure it's dry before you add more layers to it. The other thing is before you start adding color pencil shading, this has to be 100% dry. Do not try to use your Prismacolor or other whatever brand you like. Do not try to pencil and shade on top of wet paper. I cannot stress that enough, especially this copy paper, thin paper. It will tear right through. Do not email me that you did that. Okay, and then what I do is I just clean off my okay, Denise is messaging me. Hang on, let me tell her I'm streaming. Hang on. Okay. All right. Oops. So if you have any questions, put them in caps so I know you're talking to me. Okay, then I want this to be coral. So I'm going to get a peach color. Like the green I used was bright green. And then this coral color is salmon pink. Hang on, she's asking me about a call. I'm going to leave my chat there. She's asking me something. Okay, so I'm going to get the coral color, the corally, and I'm going to do all this down here. Again, it's just a wash to get a base color over all the areas. See, I want the coral to come right up in there. Hang on. Sorry, she has a phone issue. Message. And ask him to call. Bye. Hang on, guys. Sorry, I have to answer this. Okay. I'm typing and coloring and chatting. Oh my. I might have to go try to call her. Hang on. I think she's going to have her dad call her. She has something wrong with her phone. Oh no. Try. They go. Oh, y'all are talking about getting the okay. Sorry, y'all changed this topic on me, and I looked up. Okay, so I'm going to get all this coral done. And it's pretty pale on camera. It's a little, there we go. That's a little bit more true color there. It's a little flashed out when I lay it down, and I do have the sunblock, but maybe I'll have blocked enough. Might be flashing it out a little. Okay, let's see. And then I wanted the lotus to be in a yellow, so let's just go with orange yellow. And do a base coat of that. Just very light. And then I wanted a teal color, didn't I, for the watery look? Probably. Do I want this color? Let me do a little test right here. Yeah, that's good. This is, I can't see it because it's black writing on dark green, so I can't see the name of the color. But I want to do that color in the background here and kind of blend it into her. Can y'all see okay? Turn this into an ASMR. So what's everybody else working on this weekend or doing this weekend? If you get a Bob Ross coloring book, you gotta say, put a happy tree. Is there a Bob Ross color book? I don't know. I hadn't seen one. That might be, he probably, his estate probably has a big copyright on that, on his stuff. I don't know. Okay, so I think I want some of this blue to come down in here amongst a little bit of the coral. Now let me go back to, let me clean my brush on a Kleenex, and let's go back to the coral color and get right in here. And we'll just go with these colors, kind of pastel colors, and we'll see what we can do with shading. Something like that. And then maybe just a little bit of the coral on the inside of the flower too. Tie that in. You're coming over for grilled cheese? Sally's replacing a toilet. I miss it. Where you are coming out? Where are you coming out to, Barb? You coming out to Georgia? Oh, oh, Kmore. My niece's 6th birthday. Gotta go get balloons and wrapping paper. Going to the beach. Yeah, because it's a long weekend for the you know, for most of us in the States. Labor Day is Monday. So I think I need to go down and get some coffee, though. My throat's kind of... I'm going to let this sit for just a minute, guys. Just give me a minute. If you're watching the recording, just fast forward. The girls here don't mind waiting a minute. So I'm going to go get some coffee. And just give me a minute, guys. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry guys, I had to make coffee. I forgot to make it before I hit record, so I had to go make coffee, so I'll have to go run get some in a minute when it's done making. Hey, DeMonte. Hello, Teresa Crafting Chaos. You're frozen? Yeah, no, I just went to get coffee. Okay, so now, move my paper cutter. Now I want to get some pencils. Let's move the colors. All right. There we go. Hey, CB. So we're coloring in Unearthed. If you're just joining us, I have a coat of now dried Neo color because the fan's been blowing on it. And I want to show you though, look, it's not wrinkled, it's not buckled. I mean, you can see just a tiny bit on the back, but you really can't see any buckling or wrinkling because there's so little water. Okay, so now let's go ahead and start shading. So again, I have a piece of cardstock behind here because my table is crunchy. Hang on, that's Hubster. Hey, I'm streaming, but I just called. Hang on, guys, I'll be right back. Hang on, are you there? Hang on. All right. Sorry, guys. When family, well, okay. Anyway, so you like this one? Yeah, CB, you weren't here. I started this one last night. This one is out of Suzanne sent me both Epic and Unearthed. So last night I couldn't wait to stream this morning. I had to go ahead and start. So I started coloring, making this the Art Ninja. She's just a ninja, but I'm turning her into the Art Ninja. So I turned her arrows into paintbrushes, and I'm going to turn her bow into palettes. And then there's like these little tubes of paint rolling all back in there. So I'm painting this one out to be the Art Ninja. I'm going to like an homage, an ode to May Klein, Bennett's daughter. So we're making her the Art Ninja. So anyway, yeah. But right now we're coloring. This one is out of Unearthed, which is going to be retired. So if y'all want to get this, you know, either in the paper form or the PDF form, it's going to be retired. You like the Art Ninja? Thanks, Galena. Thanks, guys. So this one is, the name of this one was Lotus Fighting Fish, like the betta fish, but I'm turning it into a mermaid tail. So that's where I'm rolling with it. So the first thing I'm going to do is start the flower. And I think I'm going to get, let me find another white. I know I got more white than this one here. But I think it's in my box over here. Let's see. I have this big box of art supplies that I carry if I go from room to room and I'm drawing or sketching or working in my sketchbooks or something in another room. So I have this box of stuff that I take from room to room. And so I'm thinking I have another white pencil in here. I'm going to have to get some white pencils. There's one. I'm going to have to get some more white pencils because I go through them a lot and then I think, oh, I've got so many. And then I get down to nubs like this and then I'm digging around and like, where's the more white? See, look. There's one in a pencil extender. So you can see I go through a lot of white pencils. So here's one that's a little better. So let me sharpen it. All right. So I'm going to, and if I can't get it quite bright white enough, I'll use it like, I really want a nice highlight on this lotus here. I'm going to go ahead and highlight the top with a Posca pen just to make it really white. And it may not show up on camera because it's right along the edge, but I just want to get a nice bright white highlight on the top of the lotus. Right along this one that's tipped down like that. Probably on this one too. Something like that, I think. Do you use your white? Yeah. Okay, so then again, I have the peach color, kind of a coral color. So let me get a few color pencils here. Let's see, an orange. Kind of want a peach color. That may not quite be dark enough, but we'll start with that. And a light peach. So there's peach and light peach. I think that's those two. And then probably which one is this? Orange yellow as the darkest yellow in the lotus. This is the same one in sharpened, so we'll go with that one. And then a yellow, and of course white. So we'll go with these colors for the coral and for the flower. So on the inside of the flower, it's going to be that peachy color. This may not be dark enough. I might have to go with a little bit of just a touch of sienna. Well, let me see. Let me grab some peach colors here. Get into my flesh tones here. Maybe this, no, that's too pink. What's this one? I think that's the same color I'm using. Yeah, that's peach. Peach is probably, until I go into the browns. So I might have to go with a sienna. Let's see. This is chestnut. I don't want to like shade this color. I just want it to have a little bit of dark to go over. And I could just do that with more paint. I just want a little bit of darker for the coral color to go on top of. Not too much, just a tiny, tiny bit. I might need to zoom in even more, guys, because I know it's probably hard to see the little bits. There we go. But then it does get a little fuzzy. It's a little fuzzy, but I think, is that okay with you guys right there? All right, so now I'm going to go in here with my yellow, orange, yellow, orange, yeah, yellow, orange. And just start shading a little. Not too much. I want to keep it very light. Very light. And all those areas that I did the white highlight on, I can go over those with yellow too if I want to knock back the bright white. So we'll see here in a minute. It's just doing a little bit of shading. Using the grayscale to your advantage. No questions or anything? That's good. Okay, thanks, CB. Something like that. See? Just that one layer. Then I'll go in here with the yellow, and let me just kind of go over some of the white and see if that's what I want to do. Can kind of knock back some of the edges of the white Posca with the yellow pencil. Kind of blend in. But I do want a nice bright edge. So, any more people want to talk about their weekend plans if you have a long weekend? Thanks again, Suzanne, for sending me these books. So that wasn't too much. I might take inside the center, go ahead and take a white Posca and maybe put some little dots in there. And let that dry, and then I can go over it with the peach if I want to. So there we go. There's our little lotus flower. I'm working out of Unearthed by Bennett Klein, which is going to be retired. So if y'all want to get it, you know. And I'm working on the thin copy. It's copy paper thin out of the book. I usually always just work right out of whatever book paper it is. I mean, there's been a couple of times I'll print out for a sample. I print it out on craft color like the dragon. But most of the time I just work whatever paper that the book comes in, I just use. Alright, so now I'm going to take my pencil, and can you see a lot of this lighter area in the blue? That, and then I got to decide what blue I want to shade with. Do I want this blue? That might be too, no, that's pretty good. Aquamarine, or maybe even peacock green. Peacock green might be too dark. That was going to be too green. Okay, so I'm going to go with aquamarine. It's like a darker aqua. And I'm going to go in here and I'm going to pick out some of the darkest areas of the grayscale. And I'm just going to kind of go in there where all the shadows are. Can y'all see, I hope? Now, don't get crazy because you'll get rid of all the grayscale if you're not careful. Yeah, I could use more watercolor too, but I'm trying to shade with pencil just to show you guys. So if you bear down too much and start coloring a lot bearing down, you're gonna lose your grayscale. It'll go bye-bye. So I'm just picking out the darkest areas right now. Can always add more. It's very hard to take back. Can you see how we're shading? We're finding all the this is the darkest color I'm using. So I'm just kind of going on top of the grayscale wherever I find it with a little bit of this color. Doesn't take much. I'm no pressure, here. No pressure on the pencil. And then some of the blue I have like rolling down into the coral, so. And some even through the tail of the fish or the mermaid. I'm making her a mermaid, so. So you see how you can just pick out all those little areas and make that contrast? I hope y'all can see. And don't everybody remember to keep Houston and the Gulf Coast in your thoughts and prayers. My family's in San Antonio, so they're not flooded. So, but y'all, you know, if you can, donate to an organization that you trust. Can y'all see how I'm just going in wherever the darkest darks? And some of our friends that are down there in it. So here you can see it doesn't take much. See how that little bit of shadow just in there? You know, then you can just kind of do a little more blend here and there, wherever. Some down here, and then I did bring some of the blue down inside the coral, down in here. Right in there. Okay, now I'm going to take the white and we're going to find all our nice bright highlights. And then at the end, I'm going to extend fog and some like watery, swirly stuff. I don't know yet. Right now, I'm just going to go in here and I'm going to start picking out the brightest highlights. With the white pencil. You see? So it looks translucent. And keep some edges kind of fuzzy. And you know, even if there's harsh lines in there, you know, keep it soft. You've done a couple of grayscale pictures. The jury's still out whether you like doing them or not. Yeah. Not everybody does, you know. I like doing it all. And then there'll be some highlights on the mermaid herself too, but I'm going to just concentrate on the wave or the wash right now, like the splash. Try to keep up with chat a little bit. So anyway, it's nice to hang out with y'all on a Friday. Hubster's going to come home early, so he went in really early today. So he's going to see about. So I never know on Fridays if I stream or not till Friday morning, but I did this morning. So now I'm just kind of going in here and picking out the highlights. Keeping some of them really soft there. Doesn't it look cool, guys? There's all these little splashy bits, and I'm going to accent those even more in a minute. I'll do that at the end. I'm just picking out all the highlights. Some are lighter than others. And all the little splashy bits. Okay, so I'm going to stop on that for now, for a minute. And you can make, even like other shades just by having wherever you've got the blue, and then going on top of that with the white real lightly on top of the blue to make another shade of the blue, right? But take your time, like, I'm kind of rushing through, but thanks. Oh, thanks, Suzanne. Thanks again. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and get some greens. I think I'm going to go with, I don't know if I want parrot green. No, I kind of want apple green. I think I want a darker green. No, I don't want peacock green, I don't think. Maybe peacock green for the darkest shadows. Okay, so there's all these little scales, right? Tiny little scales. Let's sharpen up our pencil. And I'm just going to go in here and try to do a few little scaly lines. Now, I'm not trying to color every scale because you really can't do that with, well, I guess you could, but, it's tricky business, as Paula would say. Did Paula stream the other night, by the way? I didn't see a recording, so of course she streams late, so I missed it. But I didn't see if she streamed or not. I hope she did, even if she didn't record. So I want to just make sure that some of those little lines to indicate scales, because going down the back. What? Rats. Oh, I missed something there, but Dot put it in caps, so I thought she was talking to me, but I don't think she is. I think she's just yelling at CB. Oh. So I'm just finding some areas to shade in the mermaid, because it's supposed to be a betta fish according to Bennett Klein, but I turned it into a mermaid tail rather than the red and blue of a betta fish, the fighting fish. So again, I'm just going in here and picking out the shadows. And you want it to look Finnish, not like from Finland, but like with fins. So just kind of picking out a few here. No rats. Okay, thank you. Happy Ray, hi. All right. And again, I'm going on top of the darkest part of the grayscale to find those dark shadows. Even though some of them I'm adding a little more darkness, but I'm trying to keep it flowy. Try to keep it flowy like the fins. And we started with if you're just joining us, we started with a base of Neocolor water-soluble crayon. Here, let me show you the box. This is what it looks like. And they'll say Neocolor 2, water soluble. The Neocolor ones are just wax crayons. So make sure if you want water soluble, you have to get Neocolor 2 water soluble. Very important. They're not cheap, and you don't want to buy the wrong ones. You know? All right, well, let's get back in here. Just picking out the darkest areas. Okay. I'm going to go in there with the white. And again, you know, I'm just going to kind of pick out a few with the white, although I can go back over it with the lime green. Or if you feel more comfortable starting with the lime green. Again, I have another one somewhere. I just keep using my stubs. But I want to just pick out a few really bright highlights. So I'm just going to go through here and pick a few out. What do I hear? A truck out there. I'm not expecting any UPS. I don't know what that is. I think the next door neighbors might be moving. So they're cleaning out a bunch of stuff. It's just a single guy that lives there, so don't really, I mean, Hubster talks to him, but I don't really talk to him, so I don't know. I don't know. Okay, so I'm just going through here and kind of like that. And then I'm going to go back up here and just kind of add a few more little lines, and then these little fins or whatever they are kind of popping off the sides. And it's like, to me, I see the mermaid going up inside the lotus, right? Now I'm going to take the lime green and start kind of blending in everything. Hey, Dora. And you go over some of the white, and that'll knock back the white wherever I'm going back over the top of it. Now I'll probably leave some pretty bright, but I don't want it all white. Like, see where it's real white right there? Look, I'm going to go over it with the lime green. See how it knocks it back? It's still very bright, but it's not pure white. So I want to leave a few white highlights, but mostly I want to knock them back with the green. And they're still very vibrant, but they're just not stark white. You can always go back in there with more shadows if you want it deeper. And again, this is just how I do it, guys. I'm not saying it's the only way to color a grayscale or anything like that. You know. And then next time I color it, I might color it a completely different way. Hey, Terry Trouble. Sorry, I can't resist. Good morning, Terry. Okay, so I'm liking that for now. I might want to pop in a few more shadows and highlights, but I'm going to move on now down here to the coral. We talked about you last night. All good. Oh, well, good. Thanks, guys. Y'all are sweet. I hope it was good. uh, yeah, did anybody tell me if Paula streamed? Because she was going to try to stream, but I didn't see a recording, so I don't know if she did or not. With her schedule, it's hard. All right, so now I'm going to move down into the coral. And again, I think I'm going to use, I want kind of a, I'm not quite sure the exact color. I almost want a dusty rose color. Ah, here we go. This is probably what I'm looking for. What is it? Henna. That's what it is. Henna. No, Paula? Okay. Henna for the coral color shadows. Because my peach is not quite dark enough. So I'm going to go in here with henna. Now I'm not going to bear down. I don't want to get it too henna color. But I wanted a shadow for the henna. I mean for the peach color. And this henna is I didn't want sienna. I wanted henna, not sienna. So I'm just, again, going in and finding all the darkest darks. Can y'all see how it's looking coralish? So I'm just using the grayscale to my advantage and going over all the dark gray with the henna color, my shadow color. Can y'all see that? See, the grayscale does the work for you. See, here's some with and here's without. What color book is this? Oh, sorry, Happy Ray. It's from Unearthed. Bennett Klein, Unearthed, which is going to be retired. So if you want it, you get it off of Amazon, or you can download the PDF. And, oh, I smell my coffee is done. I can smell it up here. I need to go get my coffee, because I had to go make it. So I'm going to go grab it in a minute. Let me finish shading. So, see the difference here where the coral is shaded? And it's going to have some right in here. Maybe a little bit up in there. Over on this side. Can y'all see the difference, like from that to this? Okay. Again, just picking out all the darkest areas. Some are pretty tiny, and if I had a sharper pencil, I could even get in there better. Okay. Now again, I'm going to take the white, let me sharpen, and I'm going to pick out the very, very brightest, and I still want to go back, I still want to go back and maybe pop out a little bit extra highlights where I went over it with the lime green on the fishtail, and just make sure I have a few really brights on the edges. And it's going to be kind of the same thing on the coral. And if you can't get the bright whites back, if you got too much layers or too much burnishing, then go back in there with the Posca pen or Sharpie, either one. The Sharpie water-based. This one. You can get these at Michael's. The Sharpie water-based paint. extra fine point or the Posca. And then once you paint over it, any areas, then when it's dry, then you can go over it with pencil and knock it back. Okay, so for instance, like let's just say I want a little bit brighter right here, feather out the edge. And then it's too white, I can go back in there when it's dry and go over it with the lime green. Okay, so you can get quite a few extra details. Let's maybe have a couple there. Same thing for the scales. Like let's just say I want to make the scales stand out a little more. Let's put a few highlighted scales right up the back. And we'll let it dry. And then we'll go over it with the lime green. You'll see. Need one right in here. Alright, so I'm just going to let that sit for a minute and dry. Now I'm going to go back with the white and go back into my coral here. And I'm going to pick out highlights on the coral. Remember, I'm going to do some things along the edges too. But right now, it's like drippy things. So I'm going to, I'm going to end up accenting all that drippage with white pencil or Posca, maybe a combination of both. All right, so I'm just going to go in here and pick out the brightest areas. Can y'all see how that makes it look like layered up coral? And again, and I'll probably end up doing swirly bits. Okay. Just picking out the highlights. And then he's already got a little something going on down here, but I'm going to add more. Okay. What do y'all think? Then again, I'm going to have more things coming down. I'm going to swirl those. I'm just kind of getting an indication of where I want them. Okay, so now I come back in here. And again, I'm going to drag some of this down. And picking out all the highlights. All right. Thanks, Kimberly. So now what I want to do is go back to the green with my lime green, and I'm going to go right over the top of the white Posca, and it'll still be very highlighted, but it'll be green, not white. Let me see if you can see the difference. All right, see that line right there, the white line? I'm just going to color right over the top of it. and it's still there, but it's not white. And the same thing for the little scales on the back. Just coloring right over the top, and it just knocks it back, but keeps the brightness. Okay, now I think I'm pretty much ready to go in with my detail stuff. Wonder what he thinks about when drawing such odd combinations that look cool. Oh, I can imagine what he's thinking. All right, so now I'm going to start with these little bits hanging down, and I'm just going to start, and I'm no pressure. It's just kind of scribbly like, and I can't really say exactly what I'm doing because I'm just kind of, some places are a little more pressure and then lift up and just keep it real scribbly like. Can y'all see? But no really rhyme or reason to it, just kind of. Feather it down gently. He already had a few little like drippy things going on. So I'm just like adding to, I'm accentuating it. Sharpening. What do y'all, cream-filled donuts? What are y'all Are y'all hungry? And then maybe have a little bit of softness around the edge. Here and there. I don't know if I want it completely surrounded by the softness, but maybe a few edges have a little bit. And this is already black background already. So the pencil's going over it okay. It doesn't have the tooth that acrylic paint has, but it's working fine. Again, maybe a little soft edge here and there. It just gives it some drama, you know? It gives it some oomph. Bagpipe chickens. Now there's where we were using the idea collecting that Picola. I don't know his you know what kind of process he uses to come up with combinations. I can't speak to that, but I know how I would do it, but you know, so I can imagine, right? But see, for me, it almost needs a higher contrast behind this tail. It almost needs a higher contrast to pop the tail out from the background. All right, so now I'm just going to kind of do some little swirly bits. Okay, he's already got a little bit of kind of something going on. So I'm just going to kind of continue that a little here and there. Just a little right in there. Look, this almost looks like, little, I want to say hairs, but you know how some sea creatures, it looks like little filamenty type hairs? That's what I'm imagining there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to find a few little edges just to soften. I'm not going to do the whole thing, but I just want a little bit of softness around some of the edges. Almost like some of those filigree hairs want to grow off. Like, y'all know, and I know this is probably a terrible example, but it's what came to my mind. The pod people, what is it called? There was a remake too, um, where the pods came down to Earth and potted people, you know, got them in the pods. What's the name of that movie? And they had all these little filigree hairs kind of reaching out to get them. That's what this reminds me of. And that's probably a terrible example for such a pretty drawing, but that's what it kind of reminds me of. What was that called? Hubster would know right off the bat. He knows some movies. Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Yeah. Thanks, Terry. That's kind of what it reminds me of. The little filaments that come off to grab people from the Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Sorry. But I just kind of want that little bit of softness here and there. I know that's bad. Like a Venus flytrap. Yeah, button. That kind of thing. Yeah, that kind of idea. All right, so now I'm happy with everything except the fact that the tail is not standing up far, like it needs shadow behind it. So I think I'm going to get a dark green, and I might mess it up here. We'll see. I hope not, but we're going to go for it. I need a dark, dark green, like maybe dark green. And I want to, let me sharpen here. Yeah, the older one. Yeah, I like the older one too. But the new one's good too, Shalene. They're both good. Yeah. Now what I want to do is I'm going to see if that's even going to be dark enough. I'm going to start with green, the dark green. And I want to start adding deeper shadows. Can you see? And I'm kind of bearing down a little bit now because I know that I'm toward the end of, I'm not going to layer anymore. Or not much anyway, so I can bear down and it won't matter if I burnish the paper at this point. You know what I mean, Vern? So I am kind of bearing down a little harder now, but I want some really dark green behind to make it pop. It's just not enough contrast for me. So I'm not really outlining it. I'm kind of like just picking some areas to have some shadows in. Can you see that? So can you see the difference between this and that side? See how this just makes it pop away from the page? By having that green shadow back there. The difference on this side. Yeah, it does look kind of jellyfishy like. He had a couple little lines and things coming down. Like maybe some drippy stuff. I'm not sure what his thought of what it was. But he had a little bit of drip thing going on there. So like goo or something. All right, so I'm just picking out a few dark, dark greens just to make it pop back from the background. And then maybe a little bit more on the body too. Just a little bit here and there. Let's put a little more scaly look. Add some more shadows in there. Thanks, Lindsay. Is that the movie with the old people and the lime, the fountain of youth? No, that's Cocoon, Connie. I think you're thinking of Cocoon. But they had the kind of the pod things too. But with the one with the old people in the swimming pool and all that, yeah, that was Cocoon. Invasion of the Body Snatchers was like a 1950s movie, and they did a remake. And the old couple, did you know that the two stars in the, or maybe it's just the man. I thought it was both of them. But anyway, at least the man, the star of the first one, was in the second one. Like he jumped down in front of a car and said something like, "They're here," or "Run," or something like that. He was from the original one. I don't know if y'all knew that. It was with Jeff Goldblum, the new one. And I forget who else was in it now, but it's been a while since I've seen it. Okay, so I think that's enough. I might have even gone a little too much over here, but just want to make sure my shadows are soft enough here. Like that's a little harsh right there. Let me kind of feather that out. So I'm thinking it's pretty much done. What do y'all think? Let me get my dark henna again and do a little blend right down here. Kind of blend out some of that dark green into the dark henna so it's not harsh. Donald Sutherland. Yeah, Donald Sutherland and Jeff Goldblum were in the new one. What was Sean Connery's first film? Hubster would know that. I can tell you my favorite one that he was in, Hunt for Red October. Darby O'Gill and the Little People? Is that the first one he was in? I don't remember. Y'all tell me. Was it Darby O'Gill? Hey, Marilyn. So I'm just going back in here and adding a little bit more darks into the coral because it's so dark right under there. So I just need to, add a little bit more. Okay, so I was right. It was Darby O'Gill. Okay. Y'all might have said it by the time I said it too, because there's a delay in chat. I said Darby O'Gill and the Little People, and then like 3 minutes later. Oh, maybe the tail should sparkle, Picola. I think you're right. I think I need to stickle that tail. Of course, it won't photograph, but y'all can see it. Okay. Yes, we will get out some stickles. Let's just grab something. I got some ice stickles. Let's see what other stickles do we want. I have the green stickles. Let's see if I got any green ones. And I just keep my stickles in these old vacuum cleaner. These are from like my filters. My vacuum cleaner filters came in these containers. I don't have that. That's 4 vacuums ago. But the little containers are perfect. Okay, so let's see if I got any green left in here. This is, maybe there's enough in here. I'm just going to kind of highlight it. I'm not going to solid. I'm just going to kind of wave some, a little bit of stickles through it. And you always want to do stickles at the very end because you really need to wait some hours for stickles to dry. Um, there's other things that are sparkly that dry pretty quick, but you can't really take a heat gun to stickles. So you just got to kind of set it aside and let it dry. So good thinking, Pacola. I'm going to add that in. And then I'll tilt it so you can see it. So I'm just kind of going along with the shape of the fins. Not any particular order. Let's see, is that enough right there? That should do it. Yeah, that looks nice. Very nice. Okay, so let's take a look. Now the thing about stickles too, guys, that may go through. The stickles may go through, so you got to be careful with that because this is copy paper thin. All right, so there we go. There's the stickles on the tail. Where's Jen? Is Jen still here? She probably fainted when she saw the stickles. Jen, reading with pugs, did you faint? She loves her stickles. So there we go. I'm tilting it so you can see. Doesn't that look good? Yeah. Ooh. Ah. Ooh. Ah. You're watching, okay? So I just drew lines, just kind of follow the tail. And if you have a clear stickle like diamond stickles, you can just go over the whole thing with diamond stickles and all the green would still show through. Okay, the clear ones. So there we go. I think, now let's back up. Let's back up some. Back up the bus. Beep, 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 beep. I think that's enough beeps. So let me tilt it a little so I get I think that's pretty good right there. So yeah. You can see the shimmer of the stickles. So there's that. And again, I'm going to mount it on black cardstock. I already wrote on the back. It's Bennett Klein's Unearthed, and it's called Lotus Fighting Fish, but I turned it into a mermaid fish, and so I'm just going to double side tape it onto the black cardstock so it'll go in my book. And the other one I'm working on is, and this one is out of Unearthed. Okay. The other one I'm working on, let me move these stickles off my desk because I don't have any room. The other one I'm working on is out of Epic. And Suzanne, thanks again, Suzanne bought me both these. They came yesterday. So I couldn't wait. So last night I started working on the ninja, and I turned her into an art ninja. And again, I know if you've been here for the last couple hours, you've heard me say it 5 times. But I turned the arrows, this is her bow, and I turned her arrows into paint brushes. And I've got all these little paint tubes rolling through her costume. And I'm not done, it's just, And then I'm going to turn her bow into palettes. So these are going to have paint on them. And so I'm going to paint this. And I haven't shaded all the leather and stuff. And I still haven't done some of her costume, her cape, and her hoodie. So anyway, and we're going to dedicate this to May Klein, Bennett Klein's daughter, and turn it into the art ninja for May. How am I going to do the palette? Okay, well, y'all want me to try? I mean, I don't know. I haven't thought that. I just know that's what I want to do. I haven't thought about how to do it yet. I have to decide, do I want this gold or silver? And I still, like I said, where I left off was, where is my sienna? I got to be careful of that page with the wet stickles. I need a sienna color. Let's see. Burnt ochre, sienna, they're kind of all the same. Oh, I know, I am excited. So what I want to do is, do more shading, and this is all leather on her, I think greaves. Greaves are on the calves. So I'm not sure what this leather would be called wrapped around her arm, the protection on her arm. But anyway, I want it to be leather there. And I have highlighted, see where it's white right there? That's probably going to be gold. Where I've just went over it with the Posca with the white to make it stand out. And then if I'll go back over that white with gold. Same thing for all the little rivets. You can probably barely see them. I'll probably do those gold as well. So, and then all the lacing is black. And so I still have to shade all the leather. I just kind of just started that before I hit record earlier. Started shading. I was just talking to everybody for about 30 minutes before I hit record. So I was working on this a little bit. But you can see how I just doing that next layer on the arms. Can't wait to see the finished ninja. I'm working on it. This probably here is probably about 2 hours worth of work. I painted out the background with lime green paint and then just started shading it. I haven't done anything else with the trees yet. I'm going to, still work on that. But I decided just to move on to her. Oh, did I get glitter on my hand? So, yeah, that's as far as I got so far. And I didn't work on it this morning because I'd already worked on it for an hour and a half or whatever before last night. So I didn't really want to start today's show with a half worked page because people go, well, how did you do this? And, I probably shouldn't even be working on it now because, So anyway, so she's got her leather glove things on, and then this wrapped. And I'm doing it because I wanted her to be bright and colorful because she's a paint ninja. She's not just a ninja; she's a paint ninja. So she's got to have a lot of color going on, right? So I'm working on some little tubing. There's like tubing and all this little bit of detail. See, I haven't got to all that yet. The little buckles, the little grommets. There's lots of little grommets and buckles and all that's all in there. I did white out some flowers around the eyes to make it look like a sugar skull type thing, and I haven't. Again, that's going to be. Let me see if I can do a couple here. Let's do an orange one. And maybe a blue one. Let's get a blue. So it's going to be, okay, I kind of messed that up. Where's my eraser? Let's see if I can. That's too purple or something. Needs to be maybe pink. Yeah, maybe the magenta color. Where's my magenta color? Yeah, there we go. So it's going to have like the little flowers around the eyes. Rather than just like a skull. So I got to work on it some more, but can you see the color around the eyes there? So I still have to do her bodice and her cape and her her cape, and I still have to do her hair. So I think in her hair again, I think I'm going to go with like a sienna shade in the yellow. Same process that I did on the other. I'm just picking out the darks in the yellow hair. I think May is a blonde. Not that it matters because it's like doesn't have to look exactly like her, but I think she's a blonde. Do y'all know if May is a blonde? I just thought that blonde hair would really stand out, you know. And again, now I'm going to blend the yellow, and then I'll show you how I'm going to do wisps. Well, I shouldn't probably do the wisps until the clothing behind her is done. So I'm just kind of blending in the sienna color with the yellow. Maybe go back a little bit darker in a couple areas. And then what I'll do is take my Posca. Okay, so see I have the couple of shades of yellow in her hair. Now what I'm going to do is pick out wisps. And again, if I go over out, because I haven't colored this part yet, but I kind of want to show y'all how to do it again. I always try to show it every time I do hair. But and pick out highlights. And I'm going across the grain of the hair. Like the lines that were drawn by Bennett Klein for the hair, I'm like crossing over them. Okay, like this. And what I want to do eventually is after this is colored, I can have a few wisps coming out over it. But you got to do that on top of everything else you've done. So now when this dries, I'll go over it again with yellow. So they won't be white wisps, they'll be yellow wisps. Okay, so now I got to decide on the rest of her costume. I'm thinking a blue because it'll be a nice, you know, kind of this color blue, be a nice contrast to the magenta color, because I want her colorful. I want her colorful like the art ninja that she is. All right, so there's these other two strappy things behind. Those could probably be another color like orange. So I think, let me go ahead and kind of like, let me just get them blocked in with a yellow orange behind the skull there. And then we'll shade with orange. I guess I could kind of zoom in a little since now I'm working on it. Now I've gone and worked on it. Let's see if I can I don't want to get it too dark, but it's kind of flashed out. I mean, that's pretty good. So now I'm going behind the skull with the orange on these little strappy things. And see, then this is leather in there. And see where the white is? That's going to be gold. I just kind of whited it out, just kind of like I do the hair. So that can be orange there. And then again, we got buckles going on, all that little gold bits in there. That'll all be, you know, the grommets and all that. So that can be the orange behind him. And then, let's see, I think I need black right behind him. Right in there. Because I like some high contrast areas. Give it some depth. And then I'll have more shadow underneath here and here. And under this little buckle there. It'll have shadows all in there. But I can just do one little area at a time. So I'm thinking blue, but do I want this blue that I used in there? Maybe I'll go with blue. So I'm just going to put a light coat of blue over the whole outfit, very light, because I don't want to lose all my highlights and everything. Just as a base coat here. Very light blue, because we're going for this look right here. Okay. So our art ninja. And we'll shade and highlight. And this is some more little metal bits right there. It's hard to see, but that's little metal bits. All right, so let's go back to our hair, and I'm going to go back with yellow, and I'm going to go back on top of the white. And again, when I finish coloring this, I can have some wisps coming across the outfit, like flyaway hairs. Alright, so I'm thinking I want black edging on that belt that crosses over her. And the other thing too is I don't mind working with like a Sharpie pen. Let me get one out here. Let's see. Or a Sharpie or a Faber-Castell. That one's too thick. Hang on. Pit pen. There's an extra small. Either this or a Sharpie pen. Funny. Grandbaby story. Ask Hadley if she was ready for it. She turned her head and looked and stuck at her little tongue. How Scoops. That's cute. Oh my gosh. I know. Aren't they cute? So I'm using, let me tilt it a little so I can get a straight line. The edge of this, not the buckle, that's the buckle right there, but the edging of the, this may be getting ready to go out. I might have to just get another one out. Because it's very tiny right there. I mean, I could get in there with a real sharp pencil, but a little bit tricky. Same thing if I want to do eyelashes or thing on our eyes. This is very tiny bits here, guys. Am I still in camera? Yeah. Then there'll probably be a shadow right under the little buckle too, right there. Right in there. Some darker areas in there. So I'm going to pick out some of these little bits with my pen. You like it? Oh, good, guys. I'm glad. There's a little buckle right there. A little shadow under the buckle. So see, I still have all this little bits down in here to do. Shading in between each one of these little hoses. All that. It's a lot. There's a lot to do. Alright, so let me go back up to her eyes now. No, let's not do that. Let me do her skin. Let me start out with a peach color here. Do a little shading here. For our ninja, art ninja May. Hope she doesn't mind us making her an art ninja. I didn't ask, I just thought it up. Probably be a pretty heavy shadow right there. It's not a lot of space to work. Very tiny here. I'll give her a little bit of highlight. Let me sharpen my white. Right above her brow. Oops. Okay, I'll go back with the light peach and blend in that shadow. Now I'll go in, so there's that, and her eyes are green. You probably can't see them. Let's get right under that brow a little better. Her eyes are green. And I'm going to go in here now with my black. They're so tiny. Look at the point of my pen is bigger than her pupil. So this is a little tricky here. And I'm going to add a few extra lashes, just a couple. Very tiny here. Very, very tiny. All right, back to my magenta. Sharpen. Now, let me go in here with the blue. And I'm thinking I might want this kind of a periwinkle type blue as my shadow. What is it called? It's violet. Blue, violet. Let's see. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good shadow color. So again, I'm just going to go in here and pick out the shadows. Then when I get done with this, I can put those wisps. Can you see how I'm just following the shading? Hey, Julie Topaz, welcome. Good to see. Oh, did you see my Twitter message I left you last night, Julie Topaz? I asked if the Gingers have seen Leap, the new Pixar movie, Leap. Have they seen that yet? Oh my gosh, I want to see it, but I don't like the theaters because they're so loud. I might just have to wait and buy it. But I want to see Leap. But I thought of your Gingers, Julie Topaz. So I was wondering if they had seen it or going to plan on seeing it. Did I say hi to you, Marilyn, Pat? Who else I might be missing here? Thanks, everybody, for coming in. Waiting for waiting for my chat to catch up. No, didn't watch it. Oh my gosh, you gotta go look at the trailer. Go right now. Go right now. Go look at the trailer right now. No, you don't have to go right now. You might not be able to anyway. But yeah. Okay, let's keep going up her outfit here. If you're just joining us, this one's out of Epic. Bennett Klein's Epic, and I turned this ninja girl into an art ninja, and like an ode to his daughter May, turning this into an art ninja. I'll back way out. Anyway, if you're just joining us, these were all arrows, and I turned them into paintbrushes, and then her bow I want to turn into palettes. So all these little bits in here are metal. All right, so now I'm going to take white and start kind of blending out some of the white. Now it might seem a little stark for a minute, but I want to make sure and preserve the light areas. So what I'm going to do is kind of blend lightly with the white, and then what I can do is go back over it with the blue and back and forth between the white and blue, so it keeps it like light periwinkle blue type, purpley blue. So like it kind of lightened up the purple. So if I want the purple darker, I'll go back with the purple and go back in and add more. Then go back with the white and blend. So I'm just going back and forth between the two till it's a nice smooth. It doesn't have to be too smooth. It could be almost like wool, you know, like a wool cape, like Robin Hood cape, you know. Like I imagine not felt, but wool. So just kind of blend that in, back and forth. So can you see the difference between that and that? I don't know if you can. A full-size Santa. Okay, I missed something. Cheshire. All I see is a real-life full Santa. That's all I saw of that conversation. Okay, I want to finish the cape here because I want to do the hair wisps before we go. Let me see what time is it anyway. How long have we been here? Ooh, okay, we got about 20 minutes. Like a broadcloth? Is that what it is? I'm thinking like wool. All right, y'all know those army blankets that are like green wool? That's what I imagine like the old-timey wool to be. Like back before they could process it really softly. That's kind of what I imagine Robin Hood wearing. That kind of wool. Real rough. Back in the, the day. Yeah, okay, I'm working on it, Pacola. I don't know. We're trying to get down to the palette. We'll see how far we can get in 20 minutes here. That's kind of where we were heading, right? But I got kind of sidetracked with everything else. Let's just start blending a little bit anyway. There'll be more highlight like right there and right here. And again, if you lose your highlights, take your Posca and go in there and soften it with your finger, but you can get your highlights back and then just go paint pencil over those highlights when it dries. Like for instance, right along here. Okay, there's probably a nice little highlight there, maybe a couple right here. Of course, if you get it too shiny, it's not going to look like wool. All right, let me go back to blending down here now. Okay, are y'all still with the tour? Pacola wants me to do that palette really bad. Scratchy wool, yeah. All right, let's blend her little bodice. And again, if you need more shadow, just go back in with the dark and get back in there and darken it back up. I have drawn thinking of cosplay, and there's Dragon Con here in Atlanta is this weekend. Again, I missed it. But the if y'all know who Yaya Han is, the cosplayer, I've drawn a couple pictures of her. I'll see if I can pull those out in a minute. A couple of fan arts of Yaya Han, the cosplayer. And if you don't like seeing sexy ladies, I mean, they're dressed. I mean, she's clothed, don't get me wrong. But she's very voluptuous. And if you go look her up. She's usually at Dragon Con. I don't know if she's going to be there this year. But anyway. All right, so there's a start. Now, because what I wanted to show you was her hair. So, again, if I want strands of hair coming across, let me just put a few in here. And a few is better than a lot. Alright, so see how I've pulled her hair out there? Now what I'll do is after this is dry, gotta make sure it's dry. After it's dry, I will go back in there with yellow. I put way too many because I'm trying to like show you. So I kind of over exaggerated all the flyaways, but yeah, like that. So now when that's dry, it'll only take a minute, then I'll go in there with the yellow. The, the other thing I want to do real quick is I'm going to find all the metal and the grommets. And I want to go in here with the white, because what I want to do is I'll go back over that with gold so that all these metal bits that I'm doing right now with the white will stand out much better if I do this and go over the top of it with gold, maybe even the top of this skull. They'll stand out much better with the gold when I get to that point if I have them whited out with the Posca. So there's grommet and things there. I'm just going to try to pick them out real quick so you can see them all. Because I haven't even done the all the leather work yet. There's lots more leather and stuff in here. See if I can find everything here real quick. Any place there's going to be metal. But yeah, I'll show you some of my fan art portraits. I don't think I've pulled those out for a while. My fan art? I'll do that too. But before Picola has a heart attack, let me make sure and get this, get down here and start on the palette. Hang on, guys, I really want to find all these little metal bits real quick. There's a little buckle in there. So see, all that's going to be metal. And same thing for this right here. That's going to be a gold trim. And I haven't shaded all this leather yet. All that's got to be shaded in. Okay, so now let's see. Do I want... I guess it should probably be a gold palette, shouldn't it? Because I want to keep some... I want to keep some of the shapes of the bow. Now here's the thing about, and I do need to fix this right here because I've got paint on the top of the bow. The thing about doing any kind of gold, pencil will not go over gold. Shiny gold. So I have to decide now, right now I'm just kind of getting some of the pencil back, going back over where I've messed up on top of the, well, not messed up, but I've got pencil on top of some of the bow. So I have to decide my colors in the palette itself before I put any gold. In other words, I can't just put a wash of gold. I can't put a wash of gold over this and then pencil, because pencil will not go over gold paint. So, like if I use a gold gel pen, like, let me find my, this is silver. Like if I use a gold gel pen or something like that to color in the gold, or I can put a greenish color paint as a base and then go back on top of it with touches of gold, or, which is what I'm probably going to do in here, on top of some of the, where I've found all the metal bits, or use stickles or something shiny after the fact. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get like a green, let me see what color here. A green gray color, and I'll probably have to just mix one. Let's see. Because I don't want to use shiny paint, gold paint. Let's see. So I think I'm just going to get that's too blue. Let me just water this avocado green down. And this is just to have an acrylic base. I'm going to water it down a lot. Get a brush. Just to have some color on the actual, find a brush here, on the actual palette. Just to have like a metal color. The middle of the bow end looks like pencils. You mean like sticking out here? Yeah, kind of like I did the paint brushes, pencils sticking out. I think if I did something sticking out here, it would be more brushes or pen nibs. See, I did pen nibs like that. All right, so let me just go ahead and let's get a nice, just a very thin coat of a green. Just to knock back the white is what I'm trying to do. Because then what I'm going to do is put the paint colors on next. Because we can always go in and add shine and stuff, but you can't color pencil over metallic paints. I mean, I guess you really bear down, you probably could, you know, but you can't do shading and blending because the shine of the metal, I mean of the pencil, I mean of the acrylic paint. All right, so I'm just going to get a kind of a green color going here as a base, because I'll go back in with gel pen or paint later. All right, so there's just a base coat, right? Let's put a little more right here. Now let me dry it. Move some of these paints out of the way so I have space. We're running out of time. I probably have about 10 minutes before the, you know, maybe 15 at the most, before our time runs out here. I mean, I can start another segment, but we're going to run out on this segment. So the first thing I'm going to do is some of these little tiny little, you know, bits in the bow. I want to get in there with some of the same colors I'm using in the paints. Yeah, you know, hey Colleen, by the way. So like right in here, let's do a couple of those. And I'm not going to lay it out like a palette necessarily. I'm going to splops. I'm going to put a couple splops of paint on it and drips. So I'm just going to find some different colors, you know, like a few here. I'm just going to get random colors. Just as a background. So now, see, I can almost need paint because it's not like, well, I'm going to get paint out anyway, so that's fine. Let's just get the background. Get some red. Red there. Let's get another blue. A dark green maybe, or another green. Let's see, let's get a lighter green. I'm just getting some random colors. And I'll have to decide what I want to do in this part too. Do I want more pencils or whatnot? Let's see, let's go with another teal up here. I'm just kind of putting some random splotchy paint. Maybe a pink. So I'm going to get out some paint here in 1 minute. Let's see. Let's get the blue. There. So every place that I want this to be first, then we'll go back with the gold. Okay, let's see. I think it needs some more teal right in here. Maybe some orange. Okay, so I got enough pencil. Let me get out some paint because I want to splotch and drip. All right, so now I think I can put some gold on there. I'm just going to concentrate on this because I haven't decided right here yet, guys. I don't want to hurry it that I haven't thought that out. Okay, so now let's go ahead and put out a little bit of gold. Let's see over here. And this is just Splendid Gold Deco Art Splendid Gold. Now let me find, do I have a brush right here somewhere? And I might use some brush and some gel pen. We'll see. All right. So now I'm going to take my gold and let's put gold on the palette because then I'm going to put paint splotches. I'll probably need a gel pen in some of those little areas there. Okay. Because I want to keep it metal looking. So the way to do that is with gold or something shiny. Okay. So let's dry that. I could have just done the whole thing with paint. Got a little dark down here. Alright, so while I let that sit for a second, I want to get out some colors. Let me get a bigger palette here. Alright. So I want to put out a little bit of just a dot. Just need a dot. I mean, not even a dot. Alright, come on out, blue. Oh, it's all crusted over. I just need a dot. Come on. There we go. And then I'll need a little bit of white. Let's put a dab of white. Hang on, guys. I got to get all these paint colors out now. Hang on. These are all the colors that I used in the brushes. You still with it? I'm kind of not paying attention to chat because I'm going to run out of time. And I want to finish this. There was something else I was trying to do on this segment. I forgot what it was. What was I? Oh, something else I was going to show y'all on this segment. Now I forgot what it was. Oh my gosh, I put way too much green there. What else was I going to show y'all? Something. Okay. All right, let me get a baby wipe to clean my hands. Just heard my mailman go by. Something else. No, it wasn't books. I don't know. Now I forgot. Okay, so what I want to do now, kind of know where I'm going. Let's move my palettes, my books. Where's my little brush? Where'd my paintbrush go? Where'd you go, brush? Don't know what I did with my paintbrush. Is gone. Well, let me get another one. Oh, there it is. All right, so now what I want to do is get in here. I'll do a little on both, and I don't want them the exact same, but see, like I said, I could have just done all this with paint. I'm cleaning off my brush on my baby wipe in between colors here. And I can always go in after this acrylic paint is dry. I can go in here, let me mix a little lighter blue, and go in there with pencil on top of the acrylic paint. Let's get a little brighter orange. Orange isn't very bright. Oh, my Yaya Han. Yeah, that's what it was. Okay, I was going to show y'all my fan art things. Okay, thank you. I knew there was something else I was going to show you, but forgot. But what I want to do also here is if I come out here, let's go ahead and do this. If I come out here with paintbrushes on the ends here, and I'll fix it a little better with pencil after the fact. But let's just say we have a blue one and a red one here. And then this would be wood then, probably. Well, not necessarily. Okay, let's see. Then what I want to do is maybe have some drippy paint. And we can have different colors. I really shouldn't be doing this now, though, because I haven't finished the background. I haven't finished coloring in the background yet. But we can have drippy paint, you know. Maybe a couple different splashes coming down. Like, I don't want it to look like blood, so we might have to go with another color. I want it to look like paint, right? So maybe this one can have blue drip. Something like this. Something like this is where we're headed. I have to finagle in all these little bits here. But I want all kinds of colors on the palette, right? But I still want some of the gold showing through. Let's see, that needs to be another brighter color down here. Maybe some orange right there. But I guess y'all can kind of get the idea, right? Well, I gotta work. I don't want to hurry it, guys, and I'm really hurrying. And I don't want to hurry on it. I want to be able to take my time. So I'm going to stop on the there, but you can kind of see where we're going. It's all kind of like abstract, all kinds of abstract little just paint shapes and stuff on there. maybe a little bit of white there. Nah, I don't like the white. It's too stark. Let's take that, knock that back a little. Okay, so I'm going to back out now here. Let's see, a baby blue here. So what do y'all think? So there's where we got going so far. Like I said, I'm not done with the background yet, so I don't want to overdo any details yet because I'm not done in the background. But that's a start. I'll make sure and post a picture when I finish it. But there we go. It's our Ninja Ode, our Ode to May Ninja paint, Art Ninja. Art Ninja. Oh my gosh. Okay, let me quickly, before we run out of time, I might have 5 minutes to show you the fan art. Let me see. See one of these packs over here. Hang on. I keep most of my drawings that are not, sold commissions. Oh no, I smeared. There we go. And I'm going to go in there with gold gel pen and probably some white highlights with the Posca, but I have to let all those blobs dry. Okay, so let me make sure I don't have any paint on my hands before I start handling my drawings. Thanks, guys. So I have all these packs of my artwork that I try to keep separated. Like these are all my Gold Rush crew. That's all Gold Rush, I think, the whole pack. Okay, so and then this pack is all my sketchy group, and then I have a pack of what do you call it? YouTubers. And then here's, I think, this is my, so here's my, I got 2 Yaya Hans. So I'll show you a couple. This one. And this one, Catwoman. So those are my Yaya Han ones. I'll just go through here and show you what I got. I'm not sure. This was a dog that I follow on Instagram. Okay, so I have a lot. It's mixed in here between fan art and I think some YouTubers. Where's my rest of my YouTubers? Well, anyway, they're mixed in here. Here's Angie Bell. This is one of the guys from, what do you call it, Oak Island. Where's my other Oak Island guys? Where are my Oak Island guys? And I don't know. They're all out. Oh, there they are. I just saw them. Here's the brothers from Oak Island. It's kind of far away. Let me zoom in one. There we go. There's the brothers from Oak Island. Nichelle Nichols, y'all know, Uhura. Doc. What's his name? Omar Sharif. Charlton Heston. I'm trying to find my Robert Mitchum. All right, clutch your pearls. Some of y'all I know. There's Glenn from Walking Dead. Daryl. Mr. Spock, young and old. And then I've got random, there's Darcy UK, some YouTubers. There's Bailey J, Estelle. A few people like Cinnamon, the art Sherpa. She bought hers, so I don't have hers to show you. I could print one out, but I don't have a copy of hers right here. Will Terry, Gazbot. These are YouTubers. Miss Vicky B. There's Miss Vicky B. Packer Die. Packer Die's on a little piece here. She's on a smaller one. There's Packer Die. There's Sean. Do y'all know who this is? There's Shannon Green. And then here's a couple of archaeologist guys. There's Hutton. And if y'all know Scott Wolter from the History Channel. Him and both these guys here, Hutton. Let's see, what else do I have? I think that's pretty much in this folder anyway. So there's some of my fan art. No Michael Landon, sorry. I've probably sketched him back in the past. And then here's just a picture of, this is a class we did. That was back in 2015. What do you call it? Jane Oz's granddaughter. She said we could do a class with her. So I think that's all in this folder. And yeah, I know I show these to you guys all the time. You know, I'll show you real quick my Gold Rush guys. Although a couple of them have bought theirs, so I don't have all of them because they've bought their. I only sell my Gold Rush drawings to the Gold Rush family. That's a little close now. Like a grandmother, a husband, a wife, or something. So some of them have bought theirs, so I don't have all of them. But this is Grandpa. If y'all know anything about Gold Rush, anyway, he passed away, so I did a tribute piece. It got really flashed out, or what happened here? Hang on, guys. Let me readjust the color or the brightness or something. I don't know. It's a little better, but not much. But anyway, I'm almost out of time, so I'm no Jazza. I do want to draw Jazza, though. I know. Here's a park. I won't show you all of them. I think I had at one point drawn every single Gold Rush member, including a couple of the producers. But like I said, some of them have bought theirs, so I don't have all of them. There's one of the producers there. So I'm just gonna flip through them real quick. This one, he's passed away. And then Thurber. I've done a couple here of, yeah, I'm just gonna kind of quickly go through them, guys. Here's Parker's dog. The Cheese Man, if y'all know. If y'all watch Gold Rush, you'll know who they are. Oh, you missed, okay, I'll show you Yaya again, Peggy. Dave, and here's I'm doing these quick. And then Todd asked me to draw him and Reagan together. So there's Todd and Reagan. Let me see. Where's Yaya? She's at the back of the pile here now. Here's my Yaya Hans. This one and this one. Catwoman. So there's those. And these are just my, you know, fan art, or if I've drawn bloggers, or my sketchy app people that I follow It's been so long since I've been in the sketchy group. But in the sketchy group, I'll show you some of these and some other people. I'll just flip through real quick because we have a couple minutes. So these are just some of the people from my, oh, here's one of Denise, my daughter Denise. I have one of Annie in here too somewhere. So they're just random. Here's one of Annie, my other daughter Annie. So I'll just flip through these real quick. This is one of my favorites. This one I drew while I was on jury duty. I took I took this and drew him on jury while I was waiting on jury duty last year. So yeah. Here's another one. This I drew her on jury duty too. Let's see what else here. Here's another one of Annie I drew. And then here's Brad Metzler, the author, did him. So yeah, there's just there's some of my drawings that are the larger ones. I have some that are smaller. There's a few of this, and I've shown these a lot of times, guys. They're just different random people and sketches, and there's a tattoo guy. There's APG Jamie. You see, I draw a lot. Yeah, I like her. One of my starfish. There's a sister woman. So anyway, yeah, this is one of my favorites too because I drew. You can't see it here, but it's a selfie, and she's holding it. There's a selfie stick, and camera, or a phone, reflected in her eyes. But this is one of my favorites right there. So yeah, thanks guys. So I hope y'all enjoyed the show. I hope y'all enjoyed coloring and Bennett Klein. Thanks again, Suzanne. Hey there, got paint my hair, Claire? Yeah, but I'm getting ready to leave. Yeah, I've been here almost 3 hours. So yeah. But anyway, guys, thanks for being here, and I'll post the pictures I'll post this one because it is, pretty much done. This one, I'll go ahead and post that on Twitter and in Bennett Klein. And I got to finish my ninja, my art ninja. So, yeah. Thanks, guys. Yeah, and Julie Topaz I've drawn her ginger snaps. I don't have a copy printed out, but I mean, of course, if y'all want to see a lot of my commissions, they're over on Facebook. All my artwork is public, so if you want to see these, my color book pages, my Gold Rush guys, my pet portraits, all my commissions pretty much that I've had permission. Now there's been some, there's been quite a few actually that are not on, that they don't want their relatives that have passed away, or their commission, their kids, their grandkids, they don't want them out there. So I don't put them out there. But there's a lot of my commissions are over on my Facebook page. So you're welcome, guys. It was fun. Those glasses. Just sitting here like this in her glass. But anyway. Okay, guys. Y'all have a great weekend. I plan on being here on Monday, hopefully with Lulu. And we'll see you guys. We'll see you guys then. Bye.